What lake is it?
Allegan.
Allegan Lake.
Allegan Reservoir.
And what kind is it? Flatland?
Yeah, it's a big flatland reservoir. It's all up here is all silted in. There's some holes. There's like a 10 or 12 foot hole back here, and a 16 foot hole up here. That's where the fish are.
That's where the fish are.
Yep.
Really
we got
good.
a couple spots up by the dam. The dam's like 20, 22 foot, something like that.
Okay.
It's got a nice delta up there. There's some fish on and a couple of humps related to the river channel.
Really good watercolor.
Excellent watercolor. Lots of carp.
Lots of carp.
They say it's polluted terribly. And this is a Saturday and you see the fishing pressure.
Not much.
Almost nothing.
So that means there's a lot of fish.
You pretty much got it to yourself what fish there are. There's a lot of little smallmouths, some walleyes, a few nice smallmouth, 3-4 pounders.
Ah.
Some nice largemouth, 4-pound smallmouth or largemouth. And that's about it.
Okay.
Stand up when we get close to them, you'll be able to see.
You say you see something on the surface?
Yeah, there's a blue zane carp up here, I think.
And a mess of carp.
Yeah, get ready to turn around.
Turn around here.
Get her miles out of the water.
Right ahead here.
Yeah. Rolling on top of each other, you watch. We'll get right next
see
to
a
them.
lot
You'll
of
be able
them.
to see them real well.
Yeah.
It'll be a big ball of them. Well, they kind of went down a little bit.
Yeah, I saw the disturbance up there.
But when sometimes they look like balls of weeds on top of the water.
Hmm.
Great big schools. Evidently, they're not real active right now.
Boy, that water.
There's another big bunch of them up there on top. Can you see the little bit of activity up there?
Over on the, oh yeah, way over.
See, those are all carp with their mouths sticking out of the water.
Huh.
I'll come over here, we'll see them again before the day's over.
Okay. Boy, it's a nice day today.
Let's go hit the good spot,
Go
Chase.
get them. Okay. Explain, what are you talking about?
This good spot here is a 14-foot hole. It's secluded. Otherwise, it's the old river channel.
Kind of isolated.
The old river channel runs against that bank over there.
Okay.
Hits up against that rock point right there and heads straight towards us. When it does, it kind of splits. Part of it goes off that way, part of it comes off this way, and when it splits, it creates a big hump out here.
Okay.
And the top of this hump's about 4 feet on top, and the river channel is kind of flat. It kind of disappears out there.
What's the depth of the river channel?
Out there, it's about 11 feet.
11 feet.
Out here, it's about 14 feet, 14 or 15 feet.
Okay.
And this hole runs from about here to about 50 yards that way, and that's it. After that, it just peters out and gets 8, 10, 11 feet.
So the old river channel is partly silted in, but this is a deeper area.
It's very silted in up in this area. But what we got is a couple of hard fingers that stick into the 14-foot hole with a little break right into the deepest water in the area.
Okay. You got a line sight that'll kind of find it for you?
I got a line sight, but what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna run it to make sure I'm on it.
It's off of this point here too, on this
There's a point,
south side.
This point comes out this way.
Okay.
Drops into a 14-foot hole, and then it's only, you can cast across the channel.
Huh.
And then comes up on the hump out here. We're on the hump right now. Matter of fact, my mark lines up right here. Just sitting on it right here, Chase. We'll just anchor right here.
Just anchor right here, okay. This is where you, right at the edge of the hole.
Yep, we'll be casting into the hole from this position. We're anchored at 6 feet and we're casting out into 14 feet.
Okay, what do you got for a line sight?
I'm using that house, that white house up there. I'm using that telephone pole just to the right of the peak of the house. There's a telephone pole up there with a light.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, right, I see that.
Just a little stinker.
Little stinker, your second cast.
Yep.
Okay.
Come on out here and help me.
Well, it's over, buddy.
That's a good jump type lure. Buck says a jigging spoon a jump spoon will outproduce a jig more often than not.
Mm-hmm.
Like a Daredevil type or a Hopkins jigging spoon or a Silver Buddy.
Okay.
But some days they want the speed, you got to cast a spoon plug. Some days they want the jump spoon. Some days they want the jig a little slower.
Okay.
And all it is speed.
Speed control.
Yeah, that's the only way you should ever think about it.
Keep it simple, right?
Yeah, keep it simple.
Yep. Sounds good.
That covers just about all the speeds.
Okay. So when you cast, you keep your rod tip right in front of you?
Yeah, always. That way you're ready to set the hook. If you do this,
Go way up?
you're up here and you get a hit. Where are you going to go?
Oh, I see. Okay, so
I keep my rod straight in front of me. I try and reel it right down to it.
keep all slack out.
Yeah,
so you can set the hook right away.
Right. If I get a hit, I'm always ready in position to get
Okay.
to set the hook.
Only if you're really ripping it along or increasing the speed with a real long jerk, then you have to kind of compromise on that.
You kind of do, but you can still do it. You can give a short, quick jerk. Like when it hits the bottom, you can give it like that and try and get your line in quick.
Okay. Okay,
Like
good.
that.
Yeah. So you mainly use 400s, 250s?
500s, 400s, and
250s.
And 200s.
And 200s. So
a lot of the river channel's only 12 feet deep.
Okay. So now we cast a little bit. They aren't active.
Well, we had a couple spots that we want to make sure the fish are moving. We had a well-known spot. We anchored on it. We only caught one fish, so we know they're not moving. So we're gonna fish for stragglers until they move.
When they move, you might come back to this spot.
Oh yeah. When we think the fish are on the move, we're coming back to this spot. We anchor on it.
All right. You got a hole here that goes down to 14 feet?
14 feet. It's right off of here, and then it goes up here and makes a nice big bar. And it looks good, but we haven't
got anything, but looks pretty good. Okay.
We got another good spot coming up down here. It's a bar. It's a nice bar, and it's a good spot. We'll catch a fish off of it, even though they aren't moving. We'll
So you say in a lot of places the river channel is silted in, so you got to go searching, don't you?
Right.
Look for the proper structure.
We had to patrol the shallows and find the spots, and we started by trolling the shallows like we always do, and contour troll the shallows, and that showed us where the river channel come in close to some of the spots, and that's how you go about finding the spots.
Okay. So you get some nice walleyes that come out of here too, huh?
Yeah, a guy in our club got a 30-incher and a 26 in the same day. Most of them are 16 to 22 inches.
That's nice.
I would say.
Now this speed right here, you're probably about 3.5, 4 miles? Or, who knows? You're kicking it up a little bit.
Just checking it out, that's all.
Okay. Trolling the shoreline here.
The river channel comes in right close here. See
that's carp there.
There's probably 50 of them right there.
I'll be darned.
Can you see them?
Yeah, just making all kinds of...
You want me back up to them?
No, that's all right. I got them here. You can see them under the water too. Yeah, they're splashing and...
See, now we got 10 feet of water. The river channel comes in right here and touches right up against the old bank.
Okay. Crossed on this side.
Comes across on this side, then it goes across over there, makes a 90-degree turn, and then shoots all the way back to this side.
To this side here.
When it makes a turn out there, it creates a great big hump.
So you can't assume that's all flat over there. You got to go looking.
Yeah, got to go look, check it out.
Okay, now you went by this one shoreline, and you said one area looked pretty good to you, so you're going back with a 250?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is some good known waters.
Okay. Going a little deeper on it.
Yeah.
Sounds good. So when you're trolling, you keep your reel lock off, free spool.
Free spool. And only with the smaller lures. If you're running a 700 or 800 and pulling too hard, it makes work out of it.
Yeah, right.
But with the smaller lures, I always run a free spool. That way, if you hook a good fish, you can release a little line to keep from tearing hooks out or straightening the hooks out.
And then when you need to, you can set the hook.
Well, I usually set the hook right away.
Right away, okay.
Then I can release line if I have to.
Especially a smallmouth, you say, you get a little better control of them?
Well, if you got muskies or something, and you think you're going to catch some pretty good fish, then I always run a free spool with a small lures.
Okay. So you like this lake because there's a lot of fish in it?
Yeah, a lot of little smallmouth. Deb and I come here to have fun.
Yeah.
Not necessarily to catch great big fish, but just to catch a lot of fish.
Catch a lot of fish. And you say...
The average day is probably between 20 and 30 smallmouth.
Is that right?
Yep.
They're all over.
Oh, yeah. Well, they're not all over.
Well, they're not all over, but they're in your spots once you find them.
Right. We got about 4 or 5 key spots. They're pretty daggone good. And this is one of them we're coming out on right now.
Now with this 250, we're coming away from shore.
Right, I'm gonna walk right off the end of the bar.
Okay.
It should be coming off anytime.
I got a fish on it. Just
got
a
a
small
fish?
one. Yeah, just a small. Keep going, keep going.
We'll go ahead and reel him in.
That little, well, it was a little bar in the middle of the area. Now we're going out to the main point, which goes out farther and actually looks better then.
It does look better, but we've never hit him on it yet.
So
I don't know why. I just know that most of the fish caught are down there. Even though this appears to look better, it sure hasn't been.
So looks isn't everything. You got to work it and fish it, right?
Yeah, you let the fish tell you where they are.
Okay. You say this bar here, the more prominent one, is not quite as hard as the other one, the bottom on it.
Well, it's not as hard. I don't know if that's why the fish aren't on it.
Okay, and maybe it's a little flatter? You said it is flatter.
It appears to be a little flatter, although it breaks into the river channel on that side pretty well.
Uh-huh. So you got to look at all the aspects of a structure.
Yep. See, it breaks to 14 feet here, comes around a nice finger.
Uh-huh.
We just don't hit the fish here.
I'm gonna go to the 200.
Yep.
And deeper, but you said this is where the snags are?
Yeah, this is where the edge of the old river channel is, and this is where you start getting the old trees.
The brush and the trees.
Up. So you want to bump, but you want to bump lightly. You don't want to let out excess amount of line, or you're going to be hung all the time.
Okay, we'll do it. You're trolling this, trying to hit about 11 feet right on the nose?
Yeah.
It's where it breaks to 14.
Yep. It doesn't here. Matter of fact, it's so flat here, it's easy to get it on the other side of the channel.
You kind of tune you stay with 11 feet on your contour, and then you tune your line length a little bit as you're ticking. A little heavier, you bring in a little. Okay. So as you start feeling the hard bottom, those are the areas you want to concentrate on? Is that what you're saying?
Most of they break into the river channel, and they've been washed clean by the flow of the river channel. Well, all the spots in here are hard and clean. Every last one of them.
All the spots with fish on them?
All the spots with fish on them are hard and clean. All the spots that are silted in are flat, and they have no structure, no break lines.
Good.
And you'll feel those areas. The areas that are silted in, you'll feel the soft bottom, and the areas that have the break lines will be clean and hard.
Okay. So you saw the bottom change from from harder to soft, and you think maybe there's the channel turned at this point, went out into the center of the lake?
Yeah, I know it did now.
Okay, you're just checking it out.
Yeah, it just dropped down to 14 feet. As a matter of fact, it's coming back up right now.
So that was the channel where it went across the lake.
Right. So I know the channel turns, makes a bend, comes off that bank, and shoots out here somewhere.
So you determined that from just the softness in the bottom?
Right. It went from hard to soft right there, and it also came out a little bit, which is an indication that the channel made a turn, hit the bank, came away from the bank and made a turn.
Okay.
We're in the channel right now. I think it breaks at 12. It breaks about a foot and a half from 12 feet. It breaks from 12 to about 13 and a half.
And that's the channel?
Yeah.
You're going to try to follow that then?
Yeah, I'm kind of interested to see where it goes.
Okay. You might locate a deeper area of it or something?
And we're back up on the other side. We're 12 foot again. See what?
Then you might locate a deeper hole as you're trolling along or more structure as you're trolling along the channel.
Plus, it's always nice to know where the river channel is.
Yeah.
You always should know where the river channel is.
That's a very slight difference, though, isn't it?
Yeah. But you can see it. It's obvious on the flasher.
Okay. So we're going to start trolling where it turns, before it turns, so we can. That's the hardest bottom and where best structure might be.
Should be a pretty good area.
We don't want to just follow it out. We're going to troll it where it turns.
Right.
Okay. So you say this might be a good spot for walleye?
Yeah. This is a long, flat bar where the channel makes a turn here. And as we go out on here, it's going to get flatter. And the walleyes in the summertime like the longer, flatter bars.
Okay. So you're looking over a hump that's out in the middle? comes up.
Yeah, there's a hump out here formed by where the channel made a 90-degree bend made a turn here and formed a hump.
Okay.
Hump or a delta.
Yeah. Comes up to about 6 feet.
Comes up to 6 feet. I'm going to throw a marker right on the tip of the hump here. And we just went across the tip right there. Foot, 7 foot. Back up. So this is the end of it right here.
The end of it, where it's right at the edge of the channel.
And we break into the river channel. We got to go out here a little ways before we actually break into the river channel. I'll show you how far there's a break line going into the river channel. It breaks from 12 to 14 feet. There it is right there. See it?
Oh yeah.
Now the contact point is right here on the side, right where it comes in. There's a little finger here where they come up at.
And then they move over to where you threw the marker.
Right,
the hump.
when there's good movements, they'll move right up to the top of the hump.
Okay.
400's on and just go to work on it.
All right. So you saw gar over there, and what's the?
Well, Denny always said when you got gar on you around you, he said you're sitting on some pretty good structure.
Pretty good structure.
Yep.
There's a lot of
Yeah, a lot
wood
of
down here, isn't there?
A lot of our spots we see gar on all the
Ah,
time.
okay. Well, we're fishing it with a lot of wood, so we're going to a weedless jig.
Yep. There's a lot of stuff down there. I guarantee you throw a spoon plug or anything with trebles on it down there, you ain't gonna have it very long.
Okay. So just a weedless jig with a grub on it or something.
Yep.
Okay. So you just noticed a little bit of a wind coming up here.
Yep.
You say that's important to note?
Yeah, it's important to observe. It'll change the light condition for the fish. It could cause a movement, even though the cloud cover didn't get any better. It can cause the fish to move.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you hear Mr. Perry say a lot of times if he watches, he can tell when a movement's going to occur.
Right.
He says sometimes the absence of wind and then all of a sudden it starts getting a little windy. You want to just keep your eyes open all the time. Or if it's windy and then all of a sudden it quits.
Mm-hmm. A change.
It's a change in it's a change in the light condition is all it is. That's all.
Okay. So now we're going to go over with a 400
Right.
on the top of
We're
it.
going to make some straight line passes to cover the whole top of it. We got a marker thrown on the tip out here where it breaks off out on the end. And we're just going to make some straight line passes and bump across the top of here. See if there's anything in the shallows.
Okay.
There's our marker right there. That's the tip of the finger. Just came up to 6 feet right there.
So now we're on top of it.
We're on top of it.
Bumping good. Pretty hard bottom too.
It's real hard. There are some snags on top of it.
Okay.
It starts coming up right
Where it starts coming up, okay. Now your first pass was pretty close to that marker. Now you're just going to go parallel a little farther away from it?
We'll distance ourselves a little farther from the marker.
And then you pattern across the top.
Just keep making
several passes.
Straight line passes across the end, across the top of it, and then we'll just keep working deeper and deeper and deeper until we got the whole thing covered.
Covered, okay. Now on the west side of this, you're going back and forth because you noticed a hump on it?
Yeah, we threw a marker on the tip, and back here we got about 8 feet, and then it rises up to about 6 foot right on the tip. So we got a little hump on the end of this bar out here, this little finger out here. I'm almost 8 feet right here. Right before we get to the marker, it comes up to 6. So it's 6 foot over there, 8 feet in between it, and 6 feet on top of the end of this finger here.
Okay, so you're just making several passes to get a little better picture.
A little picture of it. See, we've down about 9 feet right there. And now we're up to about 6.5 feet right here.
Okay, here comes the marker. Then
we
that's
came up, we're going back down already.
Going back down. Would this be a potential casting spot? It goes down quite deep.
I would say it absolutely is.
But you're going to look it over a little bit more then.
Yeah, on the end here, it's real flat. See, it only goes down about 12.5 feet. But if you turn this way, you get closer to the channel, there's a break line that breaks into the channel at about 12 feet. It breaks to 14.
14, okay.
But it's quite a ways out here. Matter of fact, it comes up to 11 before it even breaks into the channel. 11. Should be getting close. There it is, right there.
Breaking right into the channel.
Breaking right into the channel. 2 foot break line.
Okay.
12 to 14 feet. Yeah, let's put on the bigger size lures.
Okay.
There's plenty of snags on it, Chase, so if you get a snag, just throw your rod back. It should come off.
Okay. So we got a 6 to 9 on now. We're going to go over the same area and look at it even more.
Just a little deeper. Here's our marker right here.
Coming up on it.
So about 11, 10, coming up. 9, 8, about 7 feet.
7 feet, right on the marker here.
Should walk right across it. Yep, I just started bumping.
I just checked it too. You say when you're turning, after you come off the structure and you make a turn, you go fast and sharp. You don't waste time.
No, I don't like to mess around. I want to get my lure back on fishing water.
Sounds good.
Fish.
Get on it. Don't waste time.
There's some stuff down there. I'll tell you.
You're right.
That drops down to 10 feet, Chase.
10 feet?
Back up.
Okay.
So we got a little slot right there, too.
Now we're on the east side of it, which you think is the better drop off.
Yeah,
goes into the channel.
Right.
There's a sharper break on the west side of it, but you say that probably the bigger fish are going to be where the channel comes closest.
Right, I would say so.
But the other there might be an entirely different school of fish.
There could be some fish over there, but they're probably not your larger fish.
Largest, okay. Okay, you said, go ahead.
Our interpretation of this bar that we've seen so far, we got the river channel on this side with a finger out there. That would be the contact point. If the movement is good, they'll come up on this feature. They'll come up. Where's our marker?
Right behind us.
Our marker out there.
Yep.
They'll come up on the hump on the end of the bar, and because there's a saddle in between them, that's probably a dead end. So that if they move up here, they'll move to the end of the bar, and that's a stopping point.
So that hump...
They probably won't go any farther.
They won't go any farther, just the hump, because they won't go down.
Right, they won't go down the backside of a hump.
Okay.
Right?
Great, yes.
That's our interpretation so far.
At this point, yeah. Okay, now you got a pretty good interpretation. You'd say you might anchor on it, but we haven't caught anything on it.
Right, we got no reason to anchor yet.
Okay, so you keep trolling.
The best thing we can do now is go to the next lure size and check a little deeper.
Okay, so be 9 to 12.
Right.
So in trolling for your walleyes, you might reduce your speed down to check to see the speed for that species. A little bit less than maybe for a bass?
I would, a little bit less.
Just to check it.
Right, just to check it. Have you ever heard Buck talk about guys going out on the lake and one guy will catch smallmouth, one guy will catch northerns, one guy will catch walleyes?
Yeah.
It's probably because of the speed that they were, each one of them different speed. Remember him saying that?
I think I do, yeah, the different speed, and he talks about that in each species.
Right. But you still got to check your speed.
Yeah, all of them, right. So we used the 9 to 12 off the end of this, and now we're going to the 100.
Right, we're going to work the channel break line. The break line that drops off into the channel, breaks from 12 to 14.
So we're working that. And because we haven't found them shallow, this might be the only place we could...
If we catch any, this might be where we catch
This
them.
might be, okay. Climb from 12 to 14 out here in the channel. And we're going to troll the top of it at 12 and the base break line
at 14.
At 14.
Right,
Cover
we gotta
thoroughly.
cover them both.
Okay. Okay, now you're following this channel break line at 12 feet.
Right.
And you say you want to keep right on it. And as the flasher, when the signal gets a little bit wider, that indicates to you that you're on the break line.
I'm on the break line.
You aren't on the flat.
That's right.
And you go on and off there.
We got a pretty good flat between here and our top of our hump.
Okay.
So we want to keep from getting up on top of that flat. And we do that by constantly moving off and back on it. That'll keep us from getting up on top of the flat.
Okay, and we're using our marker too to
Right.
help us position. Okay.
Right.
So you go on and off it here just as it's getting nervous.
Yep.
You can see it just widening a little bit.
See it right there?
Oh yeah, okay, it's a little bit wider.
Now we're up on it.
At 12.
Right. Now we're coming off of it. See it?
Get wider, and then we go down to the base.
Right, we're on the base break line right now.
At 14.
Right.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. That's great.
Actually, it dropped to 15 right there. Okay, I'm also hung.
Okay, so we made one pass. Now you can turn around and go back in the other direction.
Right.
The same size lure at the same break line.
Right. We want to make sure we cover it well.
Cover it well. Okay. So that's what you do. You just go through your sizes, right?
Yeah, if you want, the best experience you can do is in spoon plugging. Guys say they want to get good. They want to get good fast. The only way I know to do it is to fish every weekend. Every chance you get to fish, you got to get out there, learn to troll all your lure sizes, and that's the thing. The best experience is your on-the-water experience, and I can't overemphasize that enough.
On different lakes.
Yeah, different lakes, different reservoirs, natural lakes, rivers, fish different watercolors, different species, and eventually, that's the only thing I know that'll make you learn how to catch fish. There's no fast way to learn how to catch fish. You just got to fish every chance you get and make the best use of your time and fish in the right manner, and it'll come.
Okay. So we're over by the dam here. We found a point that really sharp break goes right down to, from what, 6 to 20?
Yeah.
About the sharpest break we saw.
Yep.
And you said casting, because it's so small, defined, and sharp, the casting might be the best way to
I would
check
say
it.
so. You could do it by trolling, but you could do a good job by casting also.
Okay.
Because it's so narrow and ridge-like. So short. I mean, it's obvious.
Short, yeah, there's not much to it.
No, there's not much to it.
Okay, sounds good. Now this is the riprap, and you say you trolled it a lot and you didn't catch anything on it?
Right. Once I got out here in the deeper water, I found out why it's not productive. There's a delta out here. It's a big, big flat that comes off of that riprap. About a 12-foot flat. Then at the edge of the delta, it comes up to 11 feet and then drops immediately into the channel. There it goes, break from 11 down to 18 feet, real quick.
Okay. So they wouldn't go up to the delta at 11, then come back down to 12 to go across to get shallower.
Right. The productive areas should be wherever there may be a cut going through it, which there's not, but it does come to an end down here and an end down here, and that would give them a path to go to the shallows.
So that would be where you concentrate.
Right.
Okay. Got a nice big one there.
And you know when you're doing things right when you're catching carp.
That's right. A roundmouth trout, huh? Okay. So put him back. We caught about what, 5 or 6 smallmouth, or
So far,
so
probably.
far? No, nothing real
And
big.
a couple
but
carp.
Couple carp. Okay.
Still waiting for him to move.
Waiting for him to move. Keep checking areas out. Now we just worked a ridge, a delta ridge that came close to the channel.
Right.
And then at where the channel made a turn towards shore, close to shore.
Right.
You say that's one of the key areas to
It is on here,
on a flatland.
on a flatland reservoir.
Okay. So we're going back.
Yep, we're going back.
Cover it more.
Yep.
Okay. About with a 100, about 13, 14 feet.
Yep.
And we're just ticking. There's a lot of wood down there.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff down there. We're just trying to hit the high stuff. We're not walking all the time.
So how do you really have to fine tune your line length?
Line length and lure size will take care of any situation.
But just one crank or two will make a big difference.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So you feel that knowing how deep your lure is running at all times is critical on something like this.
It is when you're in a situation like this.
A lot of brush and wood on the bottom.
Lots of wood on that channel brake line.
Makes a lot of sense. We really haven't hung up that much.
No.
Haven't gotten the lure knocker out once yet.
Nope.
Okay.
We've been hung a few times.
Oh yeah. You say the top of it's pretty clean. It's just this down on the
top of it's clean. The side of it down, the brake line down in the channel is just covered with wood.
This is the delta hump we're
Right.
fishing on the channel side.
Right.
Okay. Now you're working about 14 feet, so you're working the base brake line of the channel, right? Is that where you're?
No, I'm working the top brake line into the channel.
Oh, okay. This is the deeper part because the channel goes into like.
Right, 20-something feet.
Okay. Now it's about 1 o'clock or so, and we've been fishing. Really haven't caught any decent fish yet. So you figure you want to go back to your known spot, maybe check it again?
Yeah, I want to. Let's go anchor on it, and that'll tell us if any fish are moving.
Because this is probably a pretty good chance they might move around the middle of the day.
Right. I would say so, since we didn't get anything in the morning.
Okay.
We got to check it out.
Let's go get them. Oh. Yeah, carp. Whole school of carp.
Kind of going down.
Going down a little bit.
They sure did.
Yeah, they
There's
come
still
up.
a black spot out, a little bit straight out into the
They
right.
come up at the surface. They're all over this bar here. Okay.
Look straight out into the right.
Straight out into the right.
To the right, right there.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, we'll catch
Catching everything.
Catching everything.
Everything but a decent fish.
Well, now listen. That's a catfish on a smallmouth jig. How'd that ever happen, huh?
He must be
All right.
nuts.
Okay, we're getting a little more action there. Just hooked a little.
Chase just likes to get me catching rough fish.
That's right. You're catching fish, though. What'd you say about straggler fishing?
It's. Some people say, well, straggler fishing, they don't like to do it because they're not so precise. But straggler fishing on days like today, when you have little or no movement, straggler fishing is important. Because not all fish do the same thing at the same time. There's always a few away from the group that you can catch straggler fishing. But if you're straggler fishing and there's a movement, you just catch more.
Mm-hmm. You said a good depth is 8 feet on this particular?
In this lake, a good depth of straggler fish is about 8 feet.
Okay, sounds good. Okay. So you just ran off the end there.
Yeah, well, if there's any fish suspended off there, they'll take as soon as your lure comes off the brake line.
You just keep going.
Just keep going straight when your lure comes off.
Okay.
Now we're going to make a pass across the end of it this way.
Okay. Smallie, right on that spot that we were just casting.
Yeah.
Now you think that just was the speed that we...
Oh yeah, no doubt in my mind. We just casted the hell out of it, and now we just troll it and hit a fish.
Okay.
So we're gonna keep trolling for now.
Gonna go back and troll it. That was a 6...
Tell you what we might do, we might go back and anchor on that dude and cast a spoon plug.
Okay. Sounds good.
We're gonna have to, because this guy's gonna run over our marker if we don't get back on it.
Okay. You think this is a good spot in the lake? So we're gonna just work it harder?
Yeah, we might as well continue to work it for a while.
Okay.
See what
Sounds
happens.
Good. Okay, what'd you do there? Looks like a nice walleye. Hey, how big would that go?
5, 6 pounds.
5, 6 pounds.
Look
Caught
at
him
that.
trolling a
On a 250.
250. Nice fish.
Nice fish.
Let's get a real good close-up.
Nice fish that Chase caught.
Well, I guess he was on my line. You were driving the boat though.
Nice
Nice
fish.
job. Okay, you're saying we probably caught that fish suspended because we
Yeah.
were coming off the brake
We're
line,
off the brake line.
and that we're going to try the spoon plugs casting, but the chances are catching them on the cast because they were suspended. You can't get the proper depth and speed
That's right.
control. Okay.
That's right. You need to get the proper depth and speed.